Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is still March 1st. It is Tuesday, 2022. And before we jump into this video, again, I just want to remind everybody I still do have my sale going on with the Legacy Freeze-Dried Foods. That sale will be ending on Sunday. You can save 20% on a purchase right now if you go to my website, preppernurse1.com. Click on store, it will drop down, you will see Legacy Foods. You click on that, it will take you to the store within the website. If you decide to make a purchase using the discount code 100,000, the numerical 100,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers, when you put that in, when you check out, you will save yourself 20% on your purchase. Feels like it's going to start raining. I'm just feeling a couple sprinkles. Anyway, so just putting that out there ahead of time. You're talking about 25-year shelf life, GMO free. Gluten options are available as well. It is also vegetarian, and there are beef and chicken options that can be purchased separately. It is also the largest portion size of any of the other freeze-dried food companies. Right now is a good time to get it. They have everything fully in stock, and so it's a good time to pick that up if you were interested in doing so. Shipping things are going out really quickly, so people are getting orders in. There's two options. There's Authorize and PayPal. If you put it through PayPal, I can put your order in right away. If you go through Authorize, I have to wait a couple days for it to process before I can put your order in. Just putting it out there for you guys so you know what your options are. All right, okay, let's get into this video. Will the grid go down? All right. So what do I mean? Well, look at the wind blowing there now, guys. Woo! It's definitely picking up, that's for sure. Seems like the weather's changing as we get farther into the day. So we may go in the greenhouse, I think, because I don't have a jacket on and I thought it was going to be still warmer and the wind wasn't going to be as much. So anyway, let's talk about this. One of my number one fears with prepping, and I've talked about this for years and years and years, and go back and watch my older videos, and people have always asked me what my number one concern has always been. And my number one concern has always been a grid down situation. So, that's a little better. Why a grid down? Why is that my biggest concern? All right, number one, our power grid is very antiquated. It needs to be upgraded substantially. We need to harden our power grid. That needs to be done as well. That has not been done either. And so it's very fragile. We have three different grids. Texas has its own grid. Then we have an East Coast grid, and we have a West Coast grid. You have been dealing in recent years with rolling blackouts in different parts of the countries. There's been issues, and so, those type of things. Lately, if you've been watching the news, you have heard a lot of chatter of either a cyber attack on the power grid from a foreign entity, or also possibly a domestic home extremist group of some sort going after the power grid. Those are very real possibilities, but when you're hearing it more and more and more in the news, to me it's very concerning. It makes you think, is there a real true possibility that we might be facing something like that in the near future? It's almost as though they are getting people ready for a grid down situation. Doesn't necessarily have to be an EMP, folks, okay? A grid down situation can be any number of things for any length of time, you just don't know. But a true coordinated attack on the power grid by a determined enemy can cause a lot of damage in a hurry, interfere with a lot of things in a hurry, and we are very reliant on the power grid. The United States of America, realistically, our Achilles heel is the power grid. Most people in this country are absolutely in no way prepared for the grid to go down for any reason. So if we had a cyber attack on the power grid, which is absolutely possible, I mean, that's not something outside the realm of possibility. That's something that absolutely can happen. That would be something that, we need to keep an eye on that. Could we have, like, if you guys remember, and I don't know if a lot of you remember, but back in San Jose, in California, back in 2013, I'm going to give you a reminder if you don't know, there was an attack on a substation, and the person sat there literally for 20 minutes shooting at this substation, took out the substation realistically. They had to reroute power. It interrupted things for weeks. The person was never caught. Okay? Now, I did mention in another video that there's no security in any of these substations. And I was corrected and said, well, there is security. They do have, the cameras and stuff like that. But that is not what I mean by security. You don't have armed guards there keeping an eye and protecting. There's no way that you could do that with as many substations that are all over the place. You live out in the country like I live out in the country. Some of those substations are pretty isolated on back roads, tucked out of the way. So even if they have cameras, a determined enemy is going to take them out. By the time anybody could come to do anything about it, it would be too late. That's what I mean when I say no security. So I'm going to stand corrected on that. That yes, they do have cameras. Drove by a substation the other day looking at it just because I wanted to see, and it did have cameras and stuff like that, which is great. But that's not going to stop somebody that's right there doing something nefarious, if you will. So just wanted to be clear on that. So anyway, a determined group of people can cause a lot of chaos and a lot of havoc in a very, very short time. And again, like I said, that power grid is our absolute Achilles heel. So unless you have an independent solar system and you are not grid tied, being grid tied does not give you an independent solar system by any stretch of the imagination. If you want to be grid tied, that is your call. I'm not going to tell you shouldn't be grid tied. I will never personally be grid tied. But if you decide to be grid tied, I think the rain is coming. Have a transfer switch. Have backup batteries. That would be my advice to anybody that has a solar system. You better have a transfer switch so if the grid goes down, that you can just flip over and get your power pumped into your own battery so that you can still have power. Now, if in a true grid down situation, it is a long-term situation, you don't want to be that shining beacon out in the night with you're the only one that's got power. So you have to be smart about it as well. But again, I would absolutely, if people needed to charge up batteries or whatever the case may be, I would be like, yeah, have at it, But a lot to be concerned about, folks. A lot to be concerned about it. That is a very real possibility. Obviously, if we get into a major confrontational situation, hold on, I just want to. I thought I heard a plane. But if we get into a major confrontational situation, and there was an EMP, then we're all in big doo-doo in a hurry anyway. So again, prepare the best way that you can. Have backups to your backups. I'm fortunate, like I said, my system is completely off grid. So if there was an attack on the system, or a coordinated attack or a cyber attack, that's not going to affect me. I'm not going to have any issue with that. So I feel very fortunate in that case. But the reality is, it could affect everybody. So I do encourage people to keep some cash on hand because of those type of emergencies. And I keep hearing, and I just want to be really clear so you guys really can truly understand what I'm talking about. If we had a situation like that happen, okay, and people say, well, the stores would be closed and they wouldn't be open because nobody would be able to use the registers and stuff like that. You don't understand. People are not going to care if the store's closed. They're going to smash the windows in. They're going to take everything that's not nailed down, and they're not going to care because they're going to be panicking. They're going to be flipping out. They're going to be losing their minds because they know that we're in trouble. And if they got nothing at home, as far as supplies and being prepared and stuff like that, it's going to get really, really ugly really, really fast. And that is one of the reasons why I've always told you guys, when that time comes, you are going to have what you have. And that's it. That's it. So prepare accordingly, folks. Have alternative ways to light. One of the cheapest ways, I mean, realistically, if you want to go a super cheap way to light your house if there's a grid down situation, you get those yard lights that they have, the solar lights. You put them out during the day, you bring them in the house at night, and you're going to have, I don't know, maybe 8, 9, 10 hours of light. I don't know how long they last. I have them in my preps. I'm not going to lie. I have them. Never used them. Have never used them. Got them tucked away. That's another emergency backup to be able to have lighting at night. A lot safer than candles or kerosene lanterns. Now, I obviously have those as well, but I think those solar lights are a great way to go because, again, you're not going to have risk of burning anything down with having them. And, you can recharge them, and who knows how long they'll last, but it'll give you a good head start and it'll give you an advantage over a whole bunch of other people that don't. Because once their flashlights run out and all those type of things, they're going to be in deep trouble in a hurry. So, something to think about. And again, I'm not saying this to scare anybody. That's not what this video is about. What I'm trying to do, guys, is I'm trying to make you think. I want you to think of the real possibility that these things can happen. And when they start talking about things, I want you to remember this too, just before the pandemic started, what drill were they doing? What emergency drill were they doing? They were practicing for what? A pandemic, okay? So use caution, use your brains, be as ready as you can be. Think. That's what I want you to do. I want you to think. Prepare the best way that you possibly can. Be as ready as you possibly can to take care of the people that you love. You don't have to go with a great big huge system. I mean, I got a pretty decent sized system, obviously. Got quite a bit of money into my system. But if you can just have a couple of deep cycle batteries, marine deep cycle batteries, you're a couple $100, right? Couple of solar panels, 100-watt solar panels, maybe you get them at Harbor Freight or wherever you get them, and just to have some lights at night that you can run, in the house, and DC lights, not even AC. You don't have to even worry about converting it over if you don't want to, but if you want to have a conversion, again, you can get Tractor Supply. You can pick up an inverter for like $130, so you don't have to break the bank, if you will, to have something small just to give you something. So something to think about. I hope this helps. I really do. Hope it makes you think. I want you to think. That's the biggest thing I want anybody to do. Think about what is going to happen. What are they preparing us for? These are things that we do need to be concerned about. We need to be thinking about these type of things. And so, will the grid go down? I have no idea. But is it a strong possibility that it can? Absolutely. 100%, it's a huge possibility that it can. So we need to be prepared for those contingencies. And think about how unprepared most people are. And that should scare the crap out of you. It really should. Okay? So anyway, I am going to jump off of here for now. This video will probably be going up at 7:30. I think is what I'm going to do with this one. But remember, we are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. That's important to remember. Also remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD. Step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to accomplish, whatever you're trying to do, you can do it. The only person that's going to stop you from reaching your goals is you. That's it. Nobody else. So stay positive. Stay away from the negativity. Stay away from people that are going to tell you what you can't do, because that's nonsense. All right? I will see you all later. I hope everybody has a great night. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.